Hey everybody, this is Jason Creel and this is the Lawn Care Life. Today I got a good video for you. I'm going over 5 tips on what I'm planning on doing to make more money in my lawn care business. And what normally happens when I do these kind of videos, when I talk about my own lawn care business, is most of the time there's others that can relate and learn from my experiences. So let's get started with that. Today's video is sponsored by my friends at GPS Trackit. If you don't know what that is, it's a software hardware combination. So I have this piece of hardware in my truck, and then when I get on the software, it's tracking me. The hardware tracks my truck, so I can see my route, I can see every stop, I can see my idle time, I can see my driving habits. I can also set up a geofence to see if my truck's been stolen or gone outside a specific territory it shouldn't. So you can imagine the possibilities when you're helping yourself out, but also if you have employees, making sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do out in the field. Check it out, gpstrackit.com. There's a link in the description. Now let me just go ahead and tell you, when I go over these 5 items that I'm thinking about doing in my own business, then there's a couple of them that might catch you off guard, okay? A little bit counterintuitive, a little bit different way of thinking about things. But hear me out. Let me give me a chance to explain myself so that you can understand my reasoning behind it. And then, you know what? At the end of the day, you got to figure out, does this work for your business or not? So let's get started, no particular order, with the 5 ways to make more money in the lawn care business. All right, starting off with the counterintuitive thinking. Number 1 is say no to more customers. Now I know what you're thinking, Jason, I'm just starting my lawn care business. I need to say yes to everything. And that is your problem, okay? So I am, and again, I'm in my 3rd lawn care business and I'm sort of established in this, but I am saying no more now than I probably ever have before. And I will agree with you to some extent. If you're just starting, you may not can be quite as selective because you just want to make money and you don't want to fail your first year. So I get that, and I don't blame you. When I've started my lawn businesses 3 different times, all 3 times I even worked a side job just, because I didn't want to fail. I needed to make money. So do what you got to do to get off the ground the first year. But with that being said, I think saying no is more important than ever, and I think you're not smart to not say no, and here's why. To me, as I evaluate the lawn care market, and I'm looking at it, I talk to people all the time, but I'm looking at also in my area, there is a flooded market for people just to go out there and mow grass for 50 bucks a cut or whatever it is. There's not really that much of a market, as much competition in the higher levels of quality service. Now, whether that means you got to provide everything or not, but even if you're just mowing and you do an excellent job and you say, we're going to show up weekly, we're going to take care of everything, it's going to look great, I think there's more of an opportunity in that. But regardless, whether you're just doing the $50 cuts, even in that, to not take on the loser customers, the ones that are slow to pay, don't pay, or just out of the way where you're not in an area that you're going to be able to build a tight route. I mean, if it's just 1 yard way out there, to me, it'd be better to say no to it. I mean, what are the odds that you can actually build a dense route in that area? If the odds are slim to none, then don't worry about it. Now, if I've got to drive 30 minutes and I'm going to be able to pick up 10 yards, then okay, then I've got some work out there that's worth doing. If I'm gonna go 30 minutes and I got 1 yard way out there, unless they're paying me about $500, then I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think, what am I trying to build here? So like yesterday, let me give you an example. I was at a yard in a neighborhood very close to my house. I've already got about 20 to 25 yards in this neighborhood. So it's a good fit, close to my house, a lot of yards already in the neighborhood. But I get there, guess what? I'm doing weed control fertilization. It's got Bermuda grass and centipede grass mixed together. Well, that's a problem. It's on a hill. That's a problem. It's loaded with Dallas grass. That's a problem. It doesn't even have a lot of sod in some areas because he pulled out a bunch of landscaping and the grass hadn't really filled in. That's a problem. Okay, I told him, no, I'm sorry, I'm not able to help you. I gave him some advice. I wasn't rude about it. But this is not the type of yard I'm looking to build my business around. Now, several years ago, and I probably said yes to that yard, but I'm saying no more and more and more, and I'm trying to push customers to my terms instead of doing everything on their terms. Now, number 2 might be a little bit more obvious. You're doing it when I go down my list here, and that's just simply raise prices. But let me hear me out on this, because I think it's more important than ever. I mean, you hear even in our economy today about inflation, and I know for me in the weed control and fertilization business, prices are going up for our supplies. Fertilizers going up, gas prices going up. You know, so I think you need to go up on your prices. If nothing else, if you've been, and I've looked at myself this year, I've had some of these customers that for whatever reason they said, well, you know, this customer said they can only pay $60 and that was a little bit underpriced, and I've been doing it for $60 for 5 years. Well, guess what? In the past 5 years, the materials have gone up on me. Gas has gone up, cost of living's gone up. It's just, I'm doing it for $60 now. I'm not making as much money as I was for $60 5 years ago. And so you got to go up over time, or you're basically agreeing to work for less money. Now, what other job in society, if you say, hey guys, every year I want you to make a little bit less than you did the year before, okay? You know, if somebody had like a normal 9-to-5 kind of job, you say, hey, every year at this company we take about a 1% to 2% pay cut. Is that okay with you? You know, most people would not go for that. And the way, in the lawn business, the way oftentimes we try to make up for it is by doing more work. And that is possible, and you can get a tighter route as you build more customers. But it's okay to raise prices, and if you find that you're struggling, then raise prices. And what I have found almost every single time I've done this, in my mind, the fear of losing customers is worse than the reality of losing customers. Meaning, I think in my mind, oh, I'm gonna lose 20% of my customers. And what happens is I lose 2 customers. You know, it's like virtually none. And what I'm gonna do this year, some of them, that I'm okay if I lose, just to be honest with you. Some of these yards that are not ideal, you go up, and if you lose them, you lose them. It's not a big deal, okay? So I'm gonna encourage you to raise prices moving into this next year, because no doubt the cost of doing business is more expensive than it used to be. All right, the third one, and I'm gonna talk about this from both the weed control and fertilization standpoint as well as a mowing standpoint, but you do more applications if you're doing weed control and fertilization, or you mow more and kind of become a better service from a mowing standpoint. So for instance, let me give you an example. I've been doing 7 applications for my weed control and fertilization business. Next year I'm going to 8. One of the guys in my area that does 9 seems to be getting more customers than anybody else. Now maybe he's a great marketer, that could be it. But I don't think that's it. I think that the market again is calling for a higher quality service, saying, hey, we will pay you for 1 additional service or 2 additional services if the yards look great. Now, if I go from 7 applications to 8 applications and there's no difference in the quality of the yards, then that, you know, that may be hard to explain to my existing customers. When I sign up new customers, they don't seem to care how many applications I do. It's just whatever. And 8's not some crazy number. That's very standard in our industry, in our area. But anyway, I'm just saying, I think, again, the market's calling for quality. So what is this like for mowing? Well, maybe you've got a handful of bi-weekly customers. You're mowing their yards every other week, and that's just the way it's always been. And you're getting busy and more established, you think, and I'm going to encourage you to switch them over and start cutting them weekly, because when you're cutting them bi-weekly, it's more work on you, because the grass is growing taller. It's you know, gets thick in the summer, and you got to deal with all that grass. So if you cut it weekly, you say, well, what if I lose some customers? Well, the customers you're cutting bi-weekly, you think about how many more cuts you're going to be getting out of these customers now that you're cutting them weekly. So you literally can lose a bunch of customers and still be making the same amount of money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So when I go from 7 apps to 8 apps, that's somewhere between a 12 to 15% increase in revenue. So if I were to lose 10% of my customers, I'm still actually making more money. Now, I'm not doing it just for that. I'm doing it to have better looking lawns. I'll just go ahead and put that out there. I'm adding a pre-emergent in the spring of the year to help control summer weeds, and I think that's what the yard needs, and I think that's going to deliver better results, which ultimately I think will get me more customers, because neighbors are going to start looking and say, wow, his yards are really looking good. So that's kind of my logic behind it, not just adding more money. But from a mowing standpoint, it's, you know, again, you're pushing that, and I think there is a market for it, but sometimes we get settled in a rut, and we think, well, I was always cut it every 2 weeks, I was always cut it every 2 weeks, and they say, well, what if you went weekly? and you lost 25% of your customers, but now you have less people to deal with, but you're mowing them weekly. It's less work on you, you keep the yards looking great, and you're getting paid every week instead of every 2 weeks. So to me it's a win-win, but it's something at least to consider and evaluate, would that work for your business, and can you pull the trigger and don't worry. Again, I think it's one of the deals where you think, I'm gonna lose so many customers. Maybe you will lose some, but I'm at a point in my business where I'm okay losing some and replacing them with the ones that I want, okay? If they don't want to be on 8 applications a year, they don't want to put a credit card on file, things like that, then that's okay. You can, I'm not mad at you, but you'll have to go with a different provider, because I'm gonna replace you with somebody who wants it, again, back on my terms. And this is my pet peeve. I've said this over and over on YouTube. But you gotta maintain control of your business. You don't go self-employed so that you can have hundreds of people telling you what to do all the time. Okay, you're the boss. You put together the program, the lawn care package that you think is what you wanna offer, that you feel great about, and there's a market for that, okay? It's not gonna be for everybody. We can't put together the greatest package for every single person. It's not just everything's customized. It's like, here's what we offer, and I believe there's a market of certain number of people who want that, and the ones that don't, they can find it somewhere else. And you always say that politely and kindly with a smile on your face, but that's just the truth of the matter. Number 4, and we're going with a tighter route here. I've decreased some of my customers that were, I've sold some off that were kind of out of my ideal territory, and I don't have any regrets about doing that. I'm trying to maintain a small, tight route that's highly profitable for me. And this past year, I was probably more selective on which yards I took on than I ever have been before. And not only just looking at it and say, oh, is it on a hill? Is it got multiple grass types, things like that? But no, is it in my ideal areas that I'm already working? I'm not looking to establish some new area that I'm gonna have to drive 50 minutes out of the way to go there, and maybe over the next 6 years I'll build up a route over there. You know, I'm not doing that, okay? I want them in my area, and this tight route. And again, one of my competitors, I went to a neighborhood the other day, and it was crazy. They were spraying yards, and I'm not convinced that they didn't have 80% of the yards in this neighborhood. It was impressive, to say the least. And I went in there to do my one little yard and stick my sign in the yard, and I thought, man, somebody's got to stop the monopoly in this neighborhood. This guy's taking over the whole neighborhood. But it gives me something to shoot for. I've got some neighborhoods where I'm pretty saturated too, not quite 80%, but I'm starting to build. And again, and you can use your GPS Trackit with this, and if I've done it before, I saw one day, I think I literally drove 4 hours doing yards. You know, it took over there to get them, and then back between all the yards, you know, and you can make money doing that. But what if my drive time for the day was 30 minutes? Literally, I drove 5 minutes to a neighborhood, and then I had little stops within the neighborhood, and then I drive 5 minutes back. And you had 30 minutes of drive time, and you were knocking out tons of yards in that one neighborhood. The tight route, it just makes your job more enjoyable, one, unless you just like riding in a truck, you know, with the air conditioner blowing on you. So anyway, I'm more convinced of this than ever. The lawn business is a great business, and the profits are good, but they're not so good that I can just drive all over town and mow a yard here, and then get in my truck and drive 30 minutes and mow a yard there, and drive 20 minutes and mow. I need them packed together, and you find those neighborhoods, and that's what you need to target if you're starting a lawn business. Find the neighborhoods that got potential where you could see yourself in 5 years having 15 to 20 yards in that neighborhood. All right, and the last one may be the most controversial of all, okay? Number 5, and I'm not sure I'm gonna have the guts to pull this off, but go to a 6-hour work day. You think, Jason, man, you totally lost it now. You totally lost it. Well, let me say this, let me give you an example. Today, I am going somewhere, and I need to leave my house about 2 o'clock. Well, guess what? I got up at 5:30. I was up, motivated, dressed, out here doing YouTube videos. I've got my invoices pre-printed all from the night before. Not printed, but I've created them. I've already got my water in my truck. I'm ready to go, and it's barely people even waking up, okay? So there's something, I forget the name of, some crazy one of those laws out there that says basically that people will do the amount of work given in a certain time. So example, if you give an employee an 8-hour work day, they're gonna string it out and make that work last 8 hours. If you give them 6 hours, they get the same amount of work done in 6 hours. I feel like, I'd like to say it's not true about me, but I think it is. And I also think my energy level in a manual labor job like lawn care goes down throughout the day. Now, if you're out there working first half of the day, the temperature's cooler, I'm out there just taking care of business, and then let's say you go and you sit down and eat some big buffet lunch, and you go out there and you're trying to work now in the afternoon, it's done got hot. You telling me your productivity has not slowed down a little bit? Your legs are tired, you got a big meal on your gut, and you're out there trying to make it in 90-degree weather, it's gonna be a little bit slower. But to me, it's the psychological thing, man. I've got these yards that I've already set for today. I think I've got like 17 yards or something. I want to get those done by 2 o'clock, okay? I don't, it's not like I have to, it's not like I can't go do them tomorrow, but I've already created invoices. I want to do them, I want to knock them out. So when I get out there this morning, I know I've got to be somewhere at 2 o'clock, I'm motivated. So I don't know what this looks like for you. Maybe it looks like, it doesn't look like 6-hour work days. Maybe it looks like 4 10-hour work days or 4 8-hour work days or whatever. But I heard somebody talking recently that, you know, if you have a part-time employee, sometimes they can be very productive because they come in there for that short window, they're fresh, they're ready to go. But if you give somebody 50 hours, it's just natural human nature, they end up dragging a little bit. Now you may, you know, can find somebody that's just superhuman and doesn't bother them. But I'm just telling you, I know it happens to me. I am faster, more energetic, and doing a better job in the morning when I got energy and the temperature's not so hot. And the later the day goes, the slower I get and the less money I'm making. So I'm trying to shorten my work day. And the other thing too, I'm gonna just throw this in there, I'm trying to add in breaks in my schedule. Now sometimes when you mow, and you may mow all summer and take a big break in the winter, and that's one thing, we kind of need a break. For me doing weed control, I'm trying to get all my yards done and then have a 2 or 3 week break, and then get all my yards done and have a 2 or 3 week break. Now I can add more customers, and that obviously is going to shorten my break. I can do YouTube videos and things like that, but I'm trying to stay fresh and not get burnt out. So many people in the lawn care business get burnt out after so many years. And, you know, again, I say we got to be raising our prices. We got to be doing things to keep it fresh, and we got to keep yourself fresh. I've once heard LeBron James spends like $1 million a year on his body. Now, I'm not going to do that, but I want to take care of myself. I don't want to just go out there and work myself all day and where I can't walk, and I get home, I'm exhausted, and I get burnt out. So I'm trying to take care of myself, eat better, exercise more, and work shorter days that are smarter. Again, having that tight route where I can get out there hopefully in 6 hours and do more yards than some of my competitors can do in 8 hours. I'm Jason Creel. Let me hear your thoughts. Maybe there's something else you can add to the list, how to make more money in the lawn care business. If you're thinking about starting a lawn business, or you want to add weed control and fertilization, I have the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy. I also have a live coaching group that starts November 3rd, 2021. There's mowing resources, mosquito spraying resources, there's documents, there's logos, all that's at lawncarelife.com. But if you have a question about it, you can leave me a comment below or get in touch with me. I got a lot of platforms out there, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, so check me out on those. Subscribe to the channel, let me hear from you, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.